Okay, shape chapter. Squares, circles, triangles, maybe the outlines of a form. But this chapter hits deeper than what I thought, not just in how I draw, but in how I see and how I analyze what I'm seeing. And honestly, I'm just thinking that this whole course it's not about learning how to draw, it's learning how to see and learning how to communicate ideas with shapes, with lines, with good design. Oh yeah, and this video is coming out a bit late. I've been busy with work. Art is not my full job right now, for now. And just traveling, visiting new places, hiking, and yeah, I'm trying to keep that work-life balance in check. And I post about all of that on my Instagram page, so if you're into that part of the journey, go follow me there. I will leave the link in the description. And since you're here on YouTube, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. So I finished this chapter the best way I know how, which is not just by watching it, but by understanding it and, most importantly, apply it to the page. Early in the lesson, Stan said something that really stuck with me, that shapes are a fundamental part of visual language and that they carry so much emotion. And when you think about it, you can see that in so many animated movies like Up, Inside Out, Klaus, just you name it, there is a lot. So shape speaks before the character even do. They help create mood, rhythm, emotions without even a single word. And if you're advanced, I think you already knew this, but it helps repeating it. And for me, I already had some structure in my work. I have studied force and gesture drawings in the past. I used to watch a lot of lessons from someone like Mike Matezi or Swindley Benia, Aaron Blaze, Glenn Keane. So if you're interested in learning rhythms, dynamic shapes, buckle up. There is a good resources online. But the one thing that I've never fully understood before watching this chapter was how someone like Stan or Jeff Watts approach shapes. They like build structure, design, good shapes, and it always looks so elegant, and I've never understood how they do it. But this chapter helped me begin to understand kind of their way of thinking about shapes. So I started with the first chapter, which was animal simplification. It's about breaking them down into less than 10 shapes, so no details. And it sounded easy at the beginning, but it wasn't, because after watching the lesson I had to make decisions, I had to analyze better, I had to ask more questions. Questions like what defines this animal, what makes it feel royal or cute or chubby or aggressive. Every shape becomes a decision and every line communicates an idea. So I did the exercise, then after I watched the demo, then I decided to redo the exercise, but by asking better questions, like what does this shape do here, and what does it feel like, and am I being clear about it? Does it read well from far away, or does this shape have a voice, have an emotion? Can I exaggerate it? Is it easy to remember it? And I think this is just what changed after the first couple of lessons, is that I stopped drawing and I started designing. The next step in this chapter was proportions, and I kind of expected it to be boring, like just measuring stuff, and it was not. It's about training your eyes, just comparing, observing, trying to understand how to catch your mistakes just before it's a mess and later on you found out that the whole drawing is wrong. And also how to create shapes with different line weights so you can communicate different ideas. So first, then broke down how to draw with accurate proportion, using plumb lines, horizontal alignments, vertical alignments, angles, envelope, negative spaces. But the most powerful one that he talked about for me was self-critiquing, just learning how to step back, analyzing what you drew, trying to find out your errors and how to fix them. After the lesson, it came the first project. I just thought I would be using all these measuring systems that he talked about, but I found out that I'm just eyeballing a lot because I'm used to eyeballing stuff. The next project was about drawing seals. This was his way of sneaking into drawing the figure, and honestly it was pretty cute. I loved it. In the demo, Stan shows how the reference is just a starting point And he moves on from this with exaggeration, pushing the shapes, making it more dynamic. And bit by bit, it just clicked. I started to remember everything that I learned a couple of years ago from Mike Matesi on forcedrawing.com. Things that come to my head now, like force lines, applied forces, sculpting the figure, the apex, shape design, outside, inside out, and more. Just things started to come back to me, and it clicked more because there was 2 videos of Mike Matesi in the course talking about composition and shape design, so I just started to remember everything. So the next step, naturally, after the seal drawings was figure drawing, gesture drawing, and how Stan approaches it. He starts by explaining how he sees the rhythm flowing through the body and finding the gesture that connects from the head to the toe of the figure, almost like a single continuous line that's elegant with different line weights that expresses different ideas for the parts of the body. He breaks it down into primary and secondary rhythm, and I was struggling with it in the beginning. I wasn't seeing what he was seeing. But time after time, I started to understand the Riley method that he uses, and I tried to apply them to my sketches, and my figures started to have this elegant feeling. Just that every line is intentional, it's not messy, it's just elegant. That said, I will be honest, I've always been more drawn to the force method. It just makes more sense to me personally. They feel more direct, more powerful, and they just get me to actually understand what I'm seeing. Right now I'm in a phase where I'm trying to find a balance between the 2 approaches because I really like both of them. One feels elegant and controlled, and the other feels forceful and alive, and I want to capture both. At the end, what I got from this chapter is that the rhythm isn't something that you go after in a pose. Rhythm is the thing that makes the pose exist in the first place. For proportion and measurements, they're just tools. Once you get used to them, you start to build that internal sense of balance. Something also that I understood is that good design starts with strong shapes start with clear thinking, and clear thinking starts with seeing differently. So that's it. I'm thinking that right now I'm not gonna rush right away into the next chapter, which is perspective and intuitive perspective, then values and edges. For now, I want just to stop and do more figure drawings, do more portraits, just explore more, not for a lesson, not for a project, just for me. Because I feel like I've been stuck in this loop of consuming content and just watching, and now I want to take a break from that, maybe for a week or 2, until I feel like I'm creating again, not just following. Because my understanding of what I got from this chapter and from previous courses is that it's about how you communicate emotions, and how can you communicate them if you haven't experienced them and lived them, grasped them fully. And again, I post about this part of my journey on my Instagram page, so if you're interested, go follow me there. I will leave the link in the description. And since you're here, subscribe to my YouTube channel, like the video, leave a comment telling me what do you think of the new setup and where you're at your art journey. I would love to know about that. And see you in the next one. Bye bye.